What's up, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, boys and girls, ghosts and ghouls? We're live from Spectral Studios. This is Division 3 AM, and this is Before the Aftermath. I'm Scary Gary, and joining me today is... Eerie Aaron.
Hi guys.
Spooky Sammy, who's turning on the light. What's up, Sammy?
What's up?
And
shit.
Juicy Jeff.
Juicy.
Juicy.
Yeah. There it is.
Alright, we're coming with you today to talk about Fort Mifflin and a lot of stuff. I'm out of breath because people showed up at the last minute, and Sam wasn't going to be here, and she showed up at the last second, and all of her equipment wasn't hooked up, so within 5 minutes until we go live, I'm running around like crazy trying to hook everything up and make sure everything's good.
I'm just trying to keep you on your toes, dude.
I don't need to be on my toes.
Like, if we have surprise guests, you gotta be ready for that shit.
We're never going to
You
have a
don't know.
surprise guest.
You don't know.
I know a little bit.
You don't know my life. You don't know what I got cooking.
Hey, look, we can see everybody. Great.
All right.
Now, guys, if it's lagging, because I ran a bunch of tests today, and everything was running great, and now it's giving me all this crap. So if it's lagging in the video, the audio should not be lagging. So you should still be able to hear us, and we will upload a better quality version of the video later, even though we haven't even got the other episode up yet, because I'm still editing it, because we didn't plan on doing it this quick. But this is what our schedules all worked out to be, and we wanted to do this show beforehand.
Except for mine when I just go boom and I'm here.
Yeah, I see. I like how you hid behind the door too. So Jeff
I hid
walked
behind
in,
Jeff.
and I'm all like, "Jeff, you're cutting it real close." And then Sam just pops in. I'm like, "Oh, shit! Nothing's ready for Sam."
Oh, I'm sorry.
So how was work?
Awful. It was a terrible day today.
How was your time?
The last 4 days were crazy. But I'm here. I'm off tonight.
Like, get it right up in your mouth. There we
Okay.
go.
Don't choke on it.
Yeah, see,
Don't
there we
choke
go.
on it. Just kind of
We're learning here. We're learning how to use condenser mics because I'm tired of being the one who everyone can hear.
Well, that's because Gary gets super close and we don't, so.
Gary licks the mic regularly. You just
My
don't see
beard
it on
gets
the-
stuck in it throughout the show. Oh, fuck. I just don't say anything. Alright, so as you guys already know, we've been talking about it since we started this show. Like, from episode 1, we announced we're going to Fort Mifflin on the 27th of this month, and it's almost here. So today, we're going to talk a bit about Fort Mifflin. We're going to go into some of the history, some of the paranormal claims, and we're going to play some EVPs from the time when I was there. I only grabbed a few of them. I didn't grab a lot, and I have a video from when I was there. So we'll show some of that off today.
The rest of us haven't been there at all. So this is going to be our first time there.
Yeah, it's been about 10 years since I've been there. I actually went there with Shannon Sylvia from Ghost Hunters International. Funny story is they were doing this raffle to ghost hunt with Shannon, and I didn't know it was a raffle. They were just selling tickets, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll buy a ticket and go ghost hunt with Shannon. And then all of a sudden they do a drawing, and this one team won, and I'm like, well, when do I go? And they're like, dude, it's a fucking raffle. You think she's going to ghost hunt with every person here? And I was like, oh, I wouldn't even have bought a ticket then. So I had to go buy an autograph instead, which is hanging up on the wall behind Jeff's head right there. I actually have a picture with her. It looks like a prison photo. I'm just all angsty face looking.
Excuse me.
Oh, damn, bless you.
Angsty teenage years.
Now the COVID is spreading.
You gonna talk about the beer Aaron pick?
Yes, we're going to talk about the beer.
I don't
Aaron
have one
picked.
because I just showed up.
Yeah, Sam was left out of everything. She wasn't supposed to be here today. She's the Dante.
Just coming out of nowhere.
So we're drinking Creep Show today. Aaron brought that in for us. So I hope everybody's got a beer and you're drinking,
I have a
listening to us talk about the ghost. And Sam has a stout.
It's a cherry stout. It's a very good stout.
Very cherry, scary Gary.
Creep Show is a smoked porter.
Yeah, it tastes very different. I'm not used to this taste.
It's very smooth.
Funny
is
story
smooth.
about this beer. I don't really like this beer at all. I think it's disgusting. And I just bought it because it sounded cool.
You don't have to wait to the end of the show to find out Aaron's opinion on this beer.
Me and Sam have had it before.
Yeah.
Me
And
and Jeff haven't.
I use Untapped. I just check in all my beers that I try, and you can review them and stuff. And I put something about it tasting like hot dog water.
I remember that. Yeah.
And
shit.
Warped Wing Brewery saw that and liked my post.
That's kind of awesome.
Sorry, guys.
That's-
I'm just keeping it 100.
Tastes
I'm
like.
just it's sorry. I mean, hot dogs are good, but the water's not. So like,
That's what
kind
my
of take it
brother
as a
said.
compliment.
He used to say stuff tasted like hot dog water and old hard drives. It
I
doesn't
don't
make
know
any
if it-
sense, but that sounds like it tastes nasty.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be pretty awful.
Maybe it's just because it's smoked. It just has that like.
Yeah, I think that's
How
what
do
it
you
is.
smoke a beer?
give me a bong and I'll show you.
Dayton Zero?
So,
I'm not going to
but the
presume
name
to
is
know how to
sweet.
do it. So.
The name is sweet, and I like the artwork.
Yeah.
The
it's
little
sweet.
back.
Plus,
kinda-
I have the creep show guy from the movie
Yeah.
on the shelf back there. So we're
and
all
the,
around
and the little
creep
like
showing it right now.
if you zoom in, and also if you notice, it's 6.66% alcohol volume.
Well, that's great. I'm the
And
one who
The
quit
little
drinking.
Evil Dead cabin in the background, kind of cool.
Where?
Look on the back.
That's a cabin?
Yeah.
Mine's 7%.
That looks like a palatial estate.
Ooh.
So yeah. When night falls, spirits rise. A ghostly figure, a red-headed woman,
This is sounding
drifts
sexual.
the city tracks,
This
eternally
is the start of a
lost.
porno right here.
The anguish of a departed,
Evil head.
a man who impaled himself on an orchestra pit chair. Yeah, I thought that was definitely a good selection for our
It is a
little.
very good selection.
Hi, Mom. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Robin!
Yeah.
Happy birthday. So we're just doing that now?
Yeah, let's just do that now.
Man. Okay.
Since I didn't get to make it to dinner, I'm sorry. I'm going to sing to you. Well, all of us are.
Mhm.
I already sang
It's-
to it
it's
once
go-
today,
it-
but
It's
okay.
gonna probably be awful, and bear with me. But we're gonna do it anyway. So I hope you like it, and I hope you had a good birthday, and it was awesome, and all that kind of good jazz. Okay, we don't even have the music.
We don't.
Okay.
No, I could
And a
have.
one, and a one, and a 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robin. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Since I'm Polish. Stola, stola, zariarianza.
We're also available for hire for birthday parties.
Yeah, if
Yes.
you know
Messages.
anybody who wants,
We are
Yeah.
a riot. Probably need to be 18 plus though.
we might mix up the songs a little bit. Just saying.
Yeah,
And I want to address the fact, and I want you guys to know, I had a penis drawn in the back of my car, and Jeff took it off today.
I did.
Who drew it?
I did.
One of the people from work.
Oh.
I was not.
I mean, I understand why you were around kids.
I was around kids.
I
I was
didn't
not
even think
driving
about-
your car with a penis on the
You're
back
welcome, Robin.
around the kids.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So, our plans. Wait, are we traveling together now?
It's looking like it.
All right, cool. I'm saving $200
It's still debating. I'll know probably in the next day.
because Aaron was supposed to go to a birthday party, and it looks like New York isn't allowing Ohioans in unless they quarantine for 14 days after they get there. And then you got to fill out a piece of paper, and if you don't fill it out, and if you leave before your 14 days, you get fined $2,000.
Prove it. Pictures or it didn't happen.
How are they monitoring that?
I don't know.
It's probably if you get caught on the way out.
Plates.
Taking the back roads.
Goodbye, New York.
I would always say, Gary, you could just say fuck it and just leave with us on the 22nd, but we don't have a place for you to stay.
Well, we're lucky that
The
there's
trunk.
no restrictions to Pennsylvania. Otherwise,
So far,
Yeah.
Right.
like right now, we're still going to Mifflin, but if there's a
Don't even
restriction,
say it. Don't even say it.
there's not going to be a
Don't say it.
restriction.
Pennsylvania does have restrictions on a couple of other states, but not Ohio.
So basically, if you live in that state and you're coming from that state, they want you to quarantine. But Ohio is not one of those states.
And let's
I'm
hope it
hoping
stays that way for
Philadelphia's
2
not
weeks.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
luckily.
But
It's got
hey,
to stay that way for 2
they
weeks.
passed the mandated masks, but people aren't
Yeah,
listening
we have.
to that.
I don't know
So.
where you guys are all at, and if you're not in the United States, you probably ain't even worried about it.
Mhm.
We have a mandated mask thing that just got put into place here where we live. It's like a $150 fine. If you're in Michigan, it's $500. So if we're not wearing masks, we're getting fined because all my people from outside the country, we live with a bunch of idiots out here who just ain't doing things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys know
I'm
that since
ashamed.
all of your countries banned travel from ours.
Like,
Yes.
we don't want you here.
It's like 3
We
countries that are
wouldn't even
allowing
we
U.S.
wouldn't even
visitors
ask
right
you
now.
guys to come over because we're just stupid and we would just infect you again. So I'm sorry, everybody who's across seas that's watching this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that our people can't not protest and not riot and not be in big giant groups together.
Yeah,
and
thanks a lot.
breathe on
are-
each other. Just
we are
breathe.
equivalently ashamed of
I
where
was
we've
supposed to go to Ireland in September, so thanks for that, guys.
Yeah, she ain't happy about that.
No.
Yeah. I was gonna like stow away and she
Wear a
didn't
mask.
know.
At least save Halloween, you fuckers.
Yes, what the fuck's gonna happen
When
now?
people come in
I mean,
and they get mad about having
Did
to
you
wear
guys
a
see this
mask.
today? Like, this is current since we're already on COVID. There are states making parents sign death waivers for their kids to go back to school. Missouri's the first one.
What?
They were doing that at the hospital where I work.
Yeah.
That's
You have to sign a
awful.
waiver to send your kid back to school in case they die.
It's wild.
Cover your
I
ass,
would.
man.
I would never. Mm-mm.
Like, I've already argued with my mom. Like, I don't want my kids to go back because it's freaking stupid that at this point, oh, we're gonna close down schools. But now that it's even worse, let's open them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I know most of
That's not
Ohio is
smart.
doing like 2 days on, then 3 days like e-learning, but that's what they're rolling out in just about every school district here.
Like, I literally had a guy today. There was this little elderly lady. She was so cute. She came in and she wanted to buy a microwave, so she had her grandson with her. They were both masked up, whatever. Like, they're doing what they're supposed to do. Little old lady, like, hunched over, like, couldn't barely lift her goddamn purse. And this fucking jackass comes in, and he comes up behind her, and he's, like, standing there, and he's huffing and puffing. And she's trying her hardest to shuffle her little cute ass just out of the way. She's just shuffling. She's just going, and she's trying her hardest. And her grandson is helping her, and this guy comes in, and then one of my customer service people says, "Can I help you, sir?" And he's like, "Yeah, I want her to fucking move out of my goddamn way. 6 fucking feet." And I said, "You can take your pay and you can leave if you're going to talk to her like that. She's trying her best. And if you want to talk about social distancing, let's talk about how the fact that you're not 6 feet away from my damn fucking customer service person. You want to back the fuck up? Or do you want to leave? Don't be rude. Shit's not going to get easier if you're fucking rude. Don't be rude. She is fucking 96 years old and you're yelling at her." I said, "Do you feel better about yourself?" He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I'm like, "Yeah, how about you do it 6 feet back? 6 feet." He's like, "Yes, ma'am." I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. Fuck with me."
And that was Sam's retail rant of the week.
Well, it just
Yep.
made me mad. She was so cute and she
You
was
just met the
trying
real
her
Sam.
best. She was trying her best.
She's throwing them hands. She's not having it.
This is why we don't fuck with Sam.
And I'm like, I will lose my job over my fucking customer service people and the nice customers that are trying their hardest to just get a damn microwave because she just wants to fucking cook food.
Basically,
It's an
don't
essential
be a
item.
bitch.
Exactly.
Don't be
Moral
a
of the story.
bitch.
And I was not in any fucking mood today. It was a horrible fucking day. I was sad all fucking day, and I don't want to deal with dumbass people. Fuck with me. Just saying.
Fucks with it.
Anyways,
Damn, we
Alright.
just lost 1,000 followers.
That was quick.
that's weird because I just got 1,000 on my page that I have on myself. The come fuck with me page.
We lost 1,000. We gained 10,000 retail workers, though.
They're like, "Oh shit, this
Yeah, we
bitch.
feel it.
This bitch."
Ghost or not, we on this.
I
We own it.
was scrolling on Facebook the other day and I saw a friend had post the day before, "Why wear a mask? Like, why should I wear a mask if yours works?" The next day, I was escorted out of work, found out I have COVID. Anybody that's been in contact with me, please let me know.
Okay.
Oh,
Speaking of
like within
Shannon.
hours. I'm like,
The fuck.
Speaking of
you-
Shannon Sylvia, now this guy's already gone viral, but Shannon Sylvia from Ghost Hunters knew this guy personally, and there was a post where he had posted, like, "I'm not wearing any fucking mask. I don't care. It's all them trying to control us." And then, like, a week later, it's like, "So I contracted COVID. This really sucks because I just started a new job." And then, like, 2 days after that, he dies. And he is memed right now. Like his picture's going around with those posts, and then his obituary right after. And I'm like, damn, like she was just talking about him. Like I knew him, regardless of what he said. He was a good guy. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much how most people are handling it nowadays. By the way, you guys like my eyeliner? Yeah, I did a
Guyliner.
special.
It's guy liner
It's
and it's
guyliner.
flaky.
Uh,
It's flaky. Rawr.
All right, so let's talk about this Mifflin.
Yeah, let's talk about Mifflin.
So, we will be getting in Philadelphia on the 26th. Technically, Jeff and Sam will be arriving the 27th in the very, very early AM hours.
2-3 a.m.
Somewhere around there.
And me and Aaron will probably be fucking trashed and passed out by then.
Don't worry, I'll draw dicks on your face. Don't worry.
And I'll take
Do you
my
want
shoes
veiny or
We'll bring a special marker just for you guys.
just for you guys?
off. I want it like right on my jugular so it throbs when my heart beats.
I need you to guys get so drunk that when I put that fake temporary tattoo like on your face right here, I need you to not wake up.
Fake temporary tattoo.
Just a fake, just temporary tattoo.
Just gonna show up at Mifflin with dicks on her face. All right, we already did shit last episode. Let's not go dicks this episode because I can feel it brewing in you guys that this is gonna keep going. So we're gonna get there. Who's fun? Who's fun?
It's
Is that
not
you?
mine. My volume's off.
Mine's off, too.
Mine is in my purse. And it's not even.
It was probably Gary's from the start.
It's not mine.
Mine's silent.
It's not mine.
Anywho,
So are we gonna get into history, or what are we gonna do first?
We'll just break down what we're gonna do first, and then we'll jump into the history. So what we're gonna get there the 26th. We're gonna sleep. We're gonna get up the 27th, and we have to be at the fort by 5 p.m.
Okay.
And then we're gonna be there from 5 p.m. till 10 a.m. Now they did say we can show up a little earlier than 5 and start unloading our gear and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably not going to be anybody there,
Okay.
so we don't have to worry about waiting for visitors to get there because nobody's really going there right now. So we'll go and set up our stuff, unpack everything. I don't know. We'll stream from there because Jeff got a Wi-Fi hotspot, so we are gonna stream a little bit from the actual fort, but we're probably gonna simplify it. We're not gonna have. I'm not taking all this equipment with me. I've already thought about it. I'm like, that's way too much stuff to set up in this place. So we'll probably take the extra microphone that you brought, and we'll just pass it around if we're talking. I mean, that should work
It sounds like a plan to me.
just fine.
Yeah, and we have those little stick-up cameras. Did you figure out how we're gonna do that?
Are those Wi-Fi?
They are Wi-Fi. I can't seem to get them hooked to the hotspot yet, but they will continuous download to an SD card or micro SD card.
So if we're filming, it'll download the SD card, and we'll just have to review it later.
So we can
Okay.
set up the static cameras with micro SD cards. They take up to 32 gigabyte micro SD cards. So
and they take really good pictures.
we can set them up, stream, and then pull that off those and use it in our aftermath.
Created 1,000 accounts for what, Josh?
1,000 accounts.
So he could give her 1,000 likes.
So you can give me
Oh,
1,000 likes.
Oh,
Thank you.
All
Jeff.
right, there we go. That was quick, Josh.
So yeah, another thing is, it's gonna be dark. So what are we gonna do for like infrared? Because we need to lighten it up to where the cameras are pointing.
I'm just gonna use a flashlight.
I mean, for
I
the
have that-
cameras, for the cameras.
For the night vision, you don't have an IR booster?
Do you?
No. I don't have a night vision camera.
I have the flashlights that are IR boosters, basically, but I don't know how far they'll go, and we'll need to get 4 of them. We'll need to get 2 more of them
Right.
for each one of the cameras.
I mean,
because
if
there's
you
4 of
set
them.
up a flashlight, it'll still pick up on the infrared.
Okay, we can do that.
I also have that big spotlight that we used for photography out at the
Mhm.
cemetery. Like, I
Mhm.
have that. I'll charge that before we go.
Yeah.
Just make sure everything's charged.
I just want to make sure when we go over the audio, we're just not like
you
it's
probably
kaput
should
'cause
take
it's-
like a surge protector or something so we have more
I got a couple.
plugs.
I got a couple of them I can pull.
It's going to be a
and
really
use.
long investigate. We're going to be there till 10 a.m.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So,
it's gonna be.
It's going to be a pretty long one. There are bunkers we can sleep in, but they're also haunted.
Yeah.
And they're underground.
So it'll be nice and cool.
And it'll be hard to sleep because we are literally smack dab like next door to the International Airport of Philadelphia.
Yeah, we'll be all
Like
right.
we will be able to see it from where we are. It's literally we'll watch planes take off and everything. That's how close it is.
Damn. So
Was
that's
there a
good.
lot of like noise pollution when you were
Oh
there?
yeah. You'll hear planes like every 10 to 15 minutes.
So we'll have to account for that.
Well, will you though?
No, you will.
No, but will you
COVID.
though? With COVID,
COVID.
they're not flying half as
They're
many
not
planes right now,
flying.
Maybe maybe it won't
So
be as
that'll
many.
to our
Maybe
benefit.
and you can't go anywhere internationally.
So that's like an upside. Thank you, COVID. Kind of.
might have helped us out because when I was there, like it was like constantly just right over your head, and you're just like doing EVP sessions, so you have to be like, please hold, ghost. And then when it gets distant, okay, how long have you been dead? It sucked.
Yeah.
Actually, I think on one of the files that I put on here to play tonight, you can hear a plane like just going off in the distance.
Yeah. What I would like to have gotten, but I didn't have the funds to do it, and I don't think it'll get here in time if I even order it. It's an IR light 3D puck. Like it's a circular puck, and it's got IR lights all the way around it, and they go super far. So, and you can attach different ones to it to make them go bigger for bigger areas. I wasn't able to get it.
we might end up getting that for our next big investigation.
Oh
that
yeah,
we do,
for
though.
sure.
Oh, that's like me. I ordered a few grid lasers,
Yeah.
but I ordered them from Wish.
Oh.
So they'll be here next year.
Yeah, they'll be here next year.
I can always see about getting one off Amazon, and I should be able to get it by the time.
You know, Shannon again. She invented that. She actually invented that. She was just talking about how people are still using it.
Yeah.
And that was where I first got my grid. I bought it straight from her. But yeah, that's not gonna come. I ordered something from Wish in March, and I just got it like a week ago, and it's
I wish.
nothing.
That's
like
why
what
they
I
call it
wanted.
Wish, is because they wish it would come faster.
Yeah, the stuff I ordered
Or at all.
before that item still hasn't come.
Wish sent me something. It was like a googly-eyed ring thing, and I didn't even order it. I don't know what the fuck it was. Anyways, back
least you didn't
on
order a-
subject.
Book press and get 5 freaking masks in the mail instead.
No, but that's how you order playpens and get army men in the mail. That's fucking epic.
Got some random nipple clamps once.
Ooh.
With a
Yes.
phone case.
Well, shit.
Phone case, nipple clamps, sex.
Somebody knew ya.
Like, you did this?
Jason ordered
Yes.
those.
Jason
just-
ordered those.
He just didn't put the names on there. It's like, I'm gonna get this girl to wear some nipple clamps. She just don't know it yet.
Well, you were wrong. They were size small, so sorry. Must have been.
These National Geographic nips won't fit in there.
Just remember, Jason, if you ever watch this, order bigger than small next time.
Order Asian extra large.
Yeah,
because
Asian
that's-
sizes are never right.
Never.
No. So after Mifflin, we're gonna hang out in Philly for a day, see some sights, Rocky Statue, Liberty Bell. We're gonna go to Tony Luke's and get a Philly cheesesteak. I don't know what kind I'm gonna get because there's so many different kinds when you're in Philly, and you don't call them Philly cheesesteaks there because they will fucking fist you in the throat.
It's just called a cheesesteak.
Yeah, I learned.
Okay, I'll remember that. Can I get a fucking cheese steak? He's got but
It's a good cover though.
And
And
It's a
nobody
good cover
there,
for
nobody there can say my name correctly. It's really annoying.
Yuri
No, they can't say Gary.
Gar.
It's Gary.
Goo.
Like everybody was like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Gary." They're like, "Oh, nice to meet you, Gary."
I'm about to blow your mind, but that sounds correct. There's no E at the back of it to make the A stand out, so it's not Gary, it's Gary. It's Gary.
No.
Because there's no E to pronunciate the A.
It's not Scary Gary. It's Scary Gary.
It's Scary.
Or when I'm drunk, it's slurry gurry.
Slurry Gary. Yeah.
I like that one.
I like that.
Actually, I did use that recently when I had to apologize for a drunk thing.
How many times this year?
That's at least 6.
At least 6.
6 what?
That you've had,
Apologies?
that you've had like drunken times where you think you need to apologize. Like I sent you my dick. I'm sorry.
I've never done that. Ever.
Don't let him lie.
I've only I only remember apologizing once, okay? I've never done anything.
Well, yeah,
Because
you
you
only
were drunk the
remember
other
doing
time.
Wait,
it
wait,
once.
no. I did apologize for throwing up at your house. That's a different thing.
You did. I'm so sorry. okay.
I was sorry for throwing up in my
I
sleep.
got a
and
story
almost
on
died.
that for this group after the podcast. FYI.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
All right.
So after we see the sights, we're gonna hit the next day. We're gonna head to Gettysburg, and we still don't exactly have a roadmap for Gettysburg yet.
No.
We're kind of gonna wing Gettysburg. Probably while we're there, we'll be flipping through this book I got, and we're like, that sounds like a good spot. Let's
It's
go to
a
that.
giant open field.
Yeah.
Well,
Just go wherever
there's
you want.
there's an area that's not as visited from some documentaries I watched, and it's actually more haunted than the field. And they're like, it's just everyone's so used to the field, nobody knows to come back here. It's like a little town.
Okay. We'll
So
check that
we
out
need to
too.
find that too. Then after that, we will be staying another night and heading home. And on our way home, we are going to stop in Centralia,
Mm-hmm.
which is still on fire to this day. And I'm more excited to go there than any place for some reason. And it's not even considered haunted, but I'm still taking
No,
equipment.
I'm excited because fuck, man, I've played that video game so fucking much.
Yeah.
And
I'm just a little disappointed that Carl's not going to be there because like that was where me and him were supposed to go.
We've been talking about this
I
forever
know.
since the day we met. Like we're
we'll have to
Centralia. We're
FaceTime
going
him
to
when we
Centralia.
get there. I wish you could come.
I know.
Carl, if you're watching
Just
this,
show up there, dude.
stow away in her car. Or just show up. Just show
Well,
up.
Fly
we'll
to
let you know
Philly.
exactly when we're going to be there, and you just meet us there.
And if you can't stay, just leave a poop for us to find.
Exactly. Just a spooky duke.
Leave a spooky dude. So Jeff has some history that he's gonna talk about for us here. So
It's a lot of history. It's a lot.
lot of
It should only take
history.
me like 10 to 15 minutes, but it's a lot.
All right, we're gonna go to the. You know what time it is.
You know what time it is. Right. History with Jeff time, guys. Fort Mifflin has a ridiculous amount of history. It has
a
seen
lot.
every major war in American history, from the Revolutionary War up through World War II. At least something has happened with that place in that time frame. Its biggest claim to fame is during the Revolutionary War. And I'll go over the specifics of that, and then I'll kind of touch on the other ones as we go through because they're a little more minor in terms of the fort itself, but they're still significant. So during the Revolutionary War, as General William Howe of the British Army marched into Philadelphia in September of 1777, with his troops being in desperate need of supplies, gunpowder, munitions, food, clothing, he was in pursuit of General Washington's army and was on the verge of crushing them. In the Delaware Bay, a fleet of British ships carrying the supplies General Howe needed was to sail up the Delaware to resupply them. Back in 1775, the Americans had secured the fort, which was built by the British on Mud Island, thus the moniker Mud Island or Hog Island. And it's just across the river from Fort Mercer in New Jersey. So the two forts kind of worked in tandem to complete the mission that I'm about to explain. A garrison of 400 men kept the British fleet at bay, providing General Washington and his troops the time and safe passage they needed to get to Valley Forge for the winter. So the fort literally allowed General Washington's troops to make it to Valley Forge to hunker down for the winter so that he could then turn around and attack the British and help win the Revolutionary War for us. For nearly 6 weeks, Fort Mifflin and Fort Mercer combined kept the British Navy from resupplying General Howe in Philly. November 10th, 1777, the British. There we go. The British took some action to try to break through, and at daybreak, cannon fire bombarded Fort Mifflin, beginning the largest bombardment of the Revolutionary War. Under direction of French Major Francois de Fleury, an engineer, the Americans worked each night.
McFlurry.
The Americans worked every night to repair the damage that was done by the bombardment. November 15th, the British sailed the Vigilante and the Fury up the back channel with 19 cannons positioned on those. Then 3 ships with 158 cannons in the main channel. To the east, there were 3 ships with 51 cannons, all trained on Fort Mifflin. Against this force, the fort could only respond with 10 cannons. That's all they had. It was reported that during 1 hour, 1,000 cannonballs were fired at the fort. Out of ammo, Major Simeon Thayer evacuated Fort Mifflin after nightfall to Fort Mercer across the Delaware. 40 men remained behind to set fire to the fort before heading to Fort Mercer themselves. But during that time frame, they had bought enough time for General Washington to make it to Valley Forge and successfully stopped the British ships from supplying General Howe in Philly.
So Mifflin was pretty much destroyed. Like they just abandoned ship.
Yeah, they set it on fire to burn anything that was left and abandoned ship. Yep, pretty much. During the Civil War, repairs of Mud Island Fort were completed in 1863, returning it to active status. It was used as a prison, mostly. Held 3 types of prisoners: Confederate POWs, Union soldiers that defected or went AWOL, and civilians. July 1863, the fort started receiving Confederate prisoners from the Battle of Gettysburg. As many as 216 Confederate POWs were held there at its peak. Union soldiers charged with crimes were subject to punishment ranging from hard labor with ball and chain to whippings, brandings, or even being hung by their thumbs.
Ooh.
Multiple escapes were tried, including an attempted uprising and a failed tunnel escape. So there was multiple times.
Shawshank out of there.
Right.
Shop it like it's
The
Mifflin.
most famous prisoner was William H. Howe, who is no relation to General Howe from the Revolutionary War. He was a Union private that deserted his post, and when he was being arrested, he fatally shot Abraham Berthollet, one of the officers, held an underground cell, casement 2, and eventually hung there August 26, 1864.
So we got
He was the only known execution at the fort.
And that was in the basement.
He was held in casemate 11.
Oh, maybe it is 11. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
didn't do it in Roman numerals. It was 11, not 2.
Yeah,
My bad.
he was held in casemate 11.
My bad.
Casemate 11 was recently uncovered. Is that it? Are you good?
I mean,
You got
I got
more?
stuff from World War I and World War II also.
No,
but
we'll go to that. But yeah, he was held in casemate 11, and that was recently uncovered about 10 years ago. Before that, it was completely buried. So at the time I was there, it was freshly open, so we were some of the first people to ever go inside.
Cool. In 1917, the fort was repaired and modernized to some degree and served as a munitions depot for the Navy. After World War I ended, it was decommissioned again, and the munitions dispersed over growing unrest from the city, having such a large cache nearby. In World War II, it was once again used as a naval munitions depot. In 1954, the fort was finally decommissioned permanently after 183 years of service. It's one of the longest standing forts in American history. As the fort's fate hung in the balance, a group of citizens led by Mayor Nicholas Biddle, Jr., sought to preserve the fort that served America and share its history with the public. So he actually created a foundation that then made the city or made the fort public and started offering tours to go over the history of the fort. That's all I got. That is history with Jeff.
That's history time with Jeff. Now I will throw in a few extra tidbits that he missed there. When the British arrived off the harbor there, when they first arrived, they fired a cannon directly into one of the doors. Now, this is where the soldiers' barracks were, and they instantly killed 200 soldiers because they were sleeping at the time. Now the water's receded so far back down, it might actually be higher now with how everything's been lately.
How did one cannonball kill 200 people?
They were all sleeping right there. Like literally, when you see it, you'll understand. It's just a door
like even
with one room. It just fired right in the middle.
like cannonballs don't explode; they're just big balls of metal.
I don't know if they fired just one cannonball.
Well,
I just know they
that's what
fired
you
in the
said.
door. I didn't say just one. I said they fired a cannon.
They fired a cannon.
They fired a cannon.
So do they have
A
like
cannon.
any type of stuff that they found on the property there? Do they have like
Like artifacts and stuff?
Yeah, like display
Yeah,
cases
there's-
and stuff.
There's still stuff there. There's
Cannons? Any cannons? What are the cannons?
there's plenty of cannons. The original cannons are still
I
there.
said they're
That's
probably
cool.
still on the battlements.
Cannonballs. We have some cannonballs.
Cannonballs are still there. You got them balls.
And the
Gotta
balls.
have the
cannon and
balls.
balls.
All the buildings are still standing. It's pretty well intact. Even the blacksmith area is still there with all of his tools hanging there. We'll get into all the paranormal stuff that's connected to it shortly here. But yeah, there was that, and then you have the woman who you've seen in our picture for the flyer, Elizabeth Pratt. She lived there. She was one of the general's wives, and they were there with their daughter. And the daughter had fallen in love with a soldier, and her mom disowned her for it. Well, her daughter ended up getting sick and dying of dysentery. Dysentery, yeah.
Dysentery.
Yeah, Oregon Trail
Bring
shit.
out your dead.
So her mother was so distraught that they never reconciled before her death that she hung herself from the balcony of their quarters, which this is all factual. And it connects to a few of the paranormal tales of there. So, do you have any knowledge of the paranormal tales, Jeff?
No, because
No?
mine is street history, bro.
All right.
He's the logic-headed one, remember?
So, some of the paranormal tales, he mentioned William Howe, who was held in casemate 11. It was literally
11, not 2. Just
yeah, not 2.
I wrote it 11, and then I just wrote this like 6 months ago and forgot that I wrote it that way.
He they built casemate 11 specifically just to hold him. It is a very small room. His name is still carved in the wall to this day. They actually have a protective frame over it so it cannot be damaged or weathered down. There's this
Very cool.
very small little corridor. Like, I don't even know how a human being could fit down this corridor, but that's where they would squeeze down to shove food through a hole to feed him. So he was kept in here by himself before he was hung on the property. He was the only person to be hung on the property. He was the only person to be executed there.
I will not be going in that room. If you have to go down a small
He does not like
corridor.
women. Well, no, you don't have to go to a small corridor to get in there. There's a small corridor inside of the casemate where they would deliver food. It's pretty open for you to get into.
Okay, because claustrophobia. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Well, you're going to be underground in a lot of these
I'll do
places.
Well, I'm fine with being underground. I don't mind being underground. It's a small.
Pretty
fucking-
underground with a little tube coming up
Oh,
through the
God.
top so you can breathe. It's not that
Did we
bad.
think this through?
It's not that bad. You'll see when you get there.
Okay.
You won't even know.
Now I will, because you told me. I mean,
Well, I mean, you'll see the tubes sticking out of the ground, but it's not as far underground as you would think.
Jinky,
It's like a little tunnel. A little tunnel.
save me.
It's like Sonic the Hedgehog Green Hill Zone. That's what it looks like. It's not that far under. But
So if I dig for like 2 hours, I'll probably be able to make it out.
it would probably take you like a half hour.
Cool, I like that. Moving on.
But William is one of the spirits that has been seen there. He has no face. From at least when I was there, I don't know if this has changed since then, but when I was there 10 years ago, 100% of all apparitions seen on the property were during the day. There have been people given tours by a ghost in full gear and everything, and then they come back and they'll tell them like, "Oh, your reenactor was really great." Well, we don't have reenactors that give tours. There's no reenactors on the property at this time, so I don't know who gave you a tour, but it was nobody with us, and there's nobody on the property but you right now. So this guy's given tours of the place. People who see William, he's fully dressed, solid looking almost, but his face is completely black. He's been seen quite commonly. There is a soldier who paces up and down the wall, up and down the hallways of Casemate 5, which is one of the bunkers, and it was also used for some of the POWs that were held there in later times. We're going to show you a video because I caught that on video.
Yeah, I've seen
I
the video.
did not
Pretty
know
good.
that's what that was until recently when I saw a photo from the Fort Mifflin website of the shadow figure standing in that exact hallway in the same spot. I caught it on video. So it kind of
That's pretty
tied
cool.
into that. So it's pretty cool. We're going to show that shortly here. We have Elizabeth Pratt, who had hung herself from the balcony after her daughter died of dysentery. Now, Elizabeth Pratt's spirit has been heard screaming, like horror movie, bloody murder screaming inside the fort so often that the cops have been called there quite a lot, to the point they don't even answer that call anymore because people constantly hear a woman in there screaming. I personally have heard this scream in person. It is one of the most skin crawling things I've ever heard. I froze in place when I heard this, and my hair stood up on end. It felt like my skin just bunched all up on my arms. Like I didn't even know. I've never heard a scream like that in my life. And I was walking through the field at Mifflin on my way to the building. I thought I was alone. And when I heard this and I froze in place, I slowly looked behind me, and about 10 feet behind me, there was another woman standing there, also frozen in place. And instead of saying what I heard, just to confirm, I asked her, "Did you just hear something?" And she said, "A woman screaming." I said, "Yep, thanks." And I just walked off. My team at the time was doing a podcast live from inside one of the buildings. So I had gone inside and like, guys, I sat down, got on the microphone. I'm like, "I just heard the famous scream of Elizabeth Pratt." And they're like, "Bullshit." And I'm like, "No, I absolutely heard it. Look at my arms. Everything's standing up." So I had to describe it. But you know, the scream queens of horror movies?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that amplified by 10.
Damn.
It will stop you in your tracks.
Hope I hear it.
I'm
Well,
hoping I
let's-
hear it too.
Let's hope it comes through for us.
Yeah, I'm hoping we hear it that night.
We have Sam and Aaron, so shit always goes crazy when they're around, especially when they're together.
There's also the spirit of the lamplighter, who can be seen walking on the same balcony that Elizabeth hung herself from. He would walk around the fort and light every lamp in the fort at night. I guess he's pretty pale looking and he's missing a lot of features when people see him, but you can still tell it's a human figure.
Mhm.
Also, the other popular spirit there is the blacksmith. He apparently is still working away in the blacksmith shop, and you can hear him banging away and working on stuff while we're there.
So that's residual. Like that's
That sounds residual to
yeah.
me.
Okay. And I honestly I feel like the lamp lighting would be residual, just because it's something he
It's
would
something
do when
repetitive.
he was yeah. So it's something he would do when he was alive. So it's just basically maybe like the stone tape theory.
Same with the soldier pacing
Yeah,
in Casement 5.
something like that.
It's probably
Like I'm not saying none of it's intelligent because
No, there are intelligent.
I damn well believe that there is things intelligent there, but like the lighting of the lamps and like the pacing and like
One of the EVPs I play, it's gonna show that there's some intelligent there because they directly respond to me doing something in this EVP. So it's like they think I was one of the British coming, just because I was outside the gate that where the water had receded. It's just kind of marshland now, so you can actually just walk out where the ships would have rolled up and fired cannons. Now you can just walk out there and stand there. That's pretty much most of all the paranormal things I know about of the place. The soldier walking the halls. We got William Howe. He's seen quite often. Got the guy giving tours. The lamplighter. Elizabeth Pratt. I seen a shadow figure in the stables area, like dart straight through, and I wasn't the only one who's seen it. There was about 10 people who've seen it all at the same time. And we don't know who or what that's supposed to be. It just darted straight through. But from my experience and the history I know of it, those are the paranormal claims of the place. So we're waiting for Sam here because
Sounds exciting. I'm excited.
It's gonna be a
Also,
blast.
if
Hope
there's
it's
one
worth our
thing,
money.
if there's one thing we should know, Aaron's gonna do really well with this. But William hates women. Hates women.
As much as Locke does at
It's like a
Mansfield
cheese
Prison.
meat. It's pretty good. Pretty sweet.
So when we're in casemate 11, chances are he is not going to respond to any women because when I was there, he did not answer women. But all the guys who talked would get responses. There is a video somewhere on YouTube, I did not pull it up for this, where I'm in casemate 11 talking to William and having him turn on a flashlight. And he wouldn't respond to any of the women when I asked, "Do you hate women?" He turned on the flashlight.
Well, he can suck my penis. Respectively.
Pingus.
Respectively. Penis.
Alright, so we're going to play some of the EVPs.
Josh, you can probably go with us to Wheatlands when we return that artifact that Sam took. If you would like.
You and Jen, I bet you like it. Put Jen in the basement. How do you think about that?
We'll have her sit on the geode and record down there while
Yeah.
we explore the grounds.
You can
So-
sit on the G.
So are you good with that, Jen? I need a response. If you don't respond in the next 5 seconds, that means that you're going to be sitting on the geode. You go slump on that geode.
Alright, so we're gonna play some EVP. Oh, did I just fuck?
Did you just fuck? I
And
don't think
Gary.
so.
I didn't just fuck.
Fuck
I hit the wrong button.
I didn't just fuck, but last night. Let me
We
tell
went
you
we
about
went
it.
back into the countdown. I am so sorry, everyone. We're gonna play some EVPs now to make up for it. So Pisp. I only have 2 EVPs that I saved for this because I thought they were the best ones. I'm gonna play this one for you guys right now, so just listen close.
What happened? I'm about to find out. I have no idea.
It's me and one of my investigators on my old team, and we heard a sound, and I said, "What happened?" Well, she said, "What happened?" I said, "I don't know." And then you hear a voice say, "I have an idea." We're the only ones in the room at the time. So we're going to play that one more time.
What happened? I'm about to find out. I have no idea.
It says I have an idea, and there's something after that that I've never been able to make out.
What I hear it saying is I have no idea.
Let's look at it again. I want to listen.
Let's play it one more again.
I mean, that's just what I hear. Like, I have no idea. Like, he's like adding to it. Like, I don't know.
Well, I do hear extra after that. I've just never been able to make out what it says.
All right, let's hear it.
What happened? I'm about to find out. I have no idea.
Mistake is what I hear.
If you really think about it, I can hear mistake.
Can you hear the no part?
I do hear no.
Good EVP though. Definitely a
It's a
good
very
pitch.
good EVP.
Can we play it one more time?
Right after Gary says.
Oh, one more time.
Because I
Let's
want to. I
find
want to
out.
hear the end of it. I want to hear what it says afterwards.
Okay.
What happened? I'm about to find out. I have no idea.
Like he says, like he's in here. Like I have no idea.
This was in the general's quarters. Like, where they actually had the fireplace and everything, so he can be all nice and cozy
That's
while
a pretty
his
awesome idea.
soldiers
That's
were
great.
That's a good
cold.
EVP. That's a really good EVP.
Now this one is the one I was talking about. This is the door that the cannons were fired into, where the soldiers were killed while they were sleeping. Now, like I said, the water has receded since then, so it's marshland. So you can actually open these big, huge wooden doors and just walk outside. Now, you're going to hear me say something stupid, because I walk outside and there's a duck out there.
Say no more.
And the first words out of my mouth are, "What the fuck? A duck?" And apparently
That sounds like a Gary response.
the soldiers, or the ghost soldiers, thought I was British, and they respond in a breathy tone. Here we go with this one. Again, you'll hear me say, "What the fuck, a duck?" And this breathy voice says, "They're here."
I'm gonna tell you what I honestly like here, because when I first heard that, I couldn't determine what the EVP was, like what the spot was. It fucking straight sounds like a rooster crowing. Because if you
Well,
listen,
there are birds out there
but yeah,
chirping.
but
and
no,
stuff.
like I can hear the birds, so it's early in the morning.
I can kind of.
So being where it's at, maybe there's like
No,
people.
this
who-
wasn't morning.
It wasn't.
Nope. This
Was it?
was like 5 p.m.
Maybe because I mean I'm not saying it's not an EVP, but I'm just
Well, we
saying,
didn't hear it in
I
person.
had a rooster one time. This motherfucker crowed at night, and he crowed during the day. Sent his ass to a fuck.
Crows like the pan.
You did. You play it again.
One more time, guys. One more time.
You'll hear the rooster now. I swear to God, you will.
God, I don't want to hear the rooster. Rooster.
I don't either.
That's what I thought at first. Okay, that's just what I thought.
It's like a breathy, like, "They're here."
It's like he's yelling it, but he can't really project,
Yeah,
so it
yeah.
comes off as
I
a
hear
whisper.
I have some other ones I didn't choose to play on here because they're a little more silent. It's going to be harder to hear on the podcast. But I have one where we're talking about a cat that's on the property. I don't know if the cat, it's been 10 years. That cat's probably long dead. But there was a cat who lived on the property and was like part of the history of the place. Like everyone knew the cat that visited there. And the cat walked down the hallway, and I'm like, "What the hell's that cat doing in here?" And then you hear it. This sounded residual. You hear like, "Hold your spaces, fire!" And you hear like faint gunshots and stuff. But it's so faint, like you wouldn't be able to hear it on the podcast. Like I'll throw all these up on the website.
Well, I'm
Might
just
as well.
saying, if that cat's there, if that cat's alive in there, or dead
After
in
10
there,
years.
I swear to God, it will fucking come to me, because I
Mhm.
swear to God, every time we go to haunted locations, an animal finds me,
That is true.
And
I'm
it's
pretty
usually
sure-
a cat.
and it's usually a cat.
No, we didn't even go to a
Sid-
haunted place. We were just
Saddamsville,
camping.
me and Jeff went to Saddamsville, and there was like just a random orange and white cat, and she followed us from like all around the building, all the way over to the car.
Right
Like
before
that's what I
Sam
mean. Like that's how they show themselves to me, maybe.
Right
Because
before Sam got scratched.
yeah, I got
I was
scratched
just
because
over
I
here laughing
peed
because our captions,
outside.
like the words it's putting to what we're saying is not, and it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I turned off the captions because it's really annoying.
It's almost like Viva La Bam when Vito's talking. It's like,
Like it's not really what he's saying.
no.
Maybe that's just what we sound like.
It probably is.
That's exactly what we sound.
It's being
like.
translated in Texan. They don't get those Ohio slangs.
I don't have.
We need to upload our stuff from Mansfield too. We got a lot of good EVPs there, and we didn't do shit with them.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have
yeah.
some. I have some.
Like the one of
From my
Aaron getting
first time
cussed
there.
out.
Yeah,
we
I
could do like a
really,
little
really want to get
sideshow.
that one like up
Yeah,
on
and
the
And
Sorry.
be
site.
like, before we
'cause I
actually
want
had a
people
name
to-
for ourselves.
I've been
we were out
talking to
here
a couple
doing this,
people
and
about
yeah.
that one.
I have the one from Solitary where I asked what they were in for, and the guy goes murder,
And
then
we
another
also-
guy goes, "I killed people."
We also have to set up a night where we're all free, where we can go do that residential. Chris has been asking me about it.
Yeah, we're gonna set
He's
that up.
really super excited.
We
about
have to
it.
do a pre investigation interview and everything. Like
Mhm.
it's so different for private investigations. It's
Well,
annoying.
we need to talk about that and set up everything.
Yeah,
so
we're
I
gonna
can
set
give
that
him,
up.
like, a
We're gonna do
timeline.
it in August for sure.
Yeah.
We also might have an interview, our first guest in August.
Yeah, we'll
I
talk
did
about
watch
that. We'll go over that.
their show last night. They only have one episode right now. I did watch it. We'll talk about that another time.
We'll have to watch it and then we can all get together and talk about it.
Yeah, we'll all get
Sounds
together. Time. So that is the EVPs from Mifflin. We have one more thing to show you from Mifflin before I forget. We're going to show you some videos.
Great song.
What?
I said before I forget.
Oh,
I said
okay.
great song.
All right, I got you.
Why are you being all sexual with Gary?
Because he wants me.
Don't worry about
All
it.
right, what you're going to see here
I'm gonna worry.
is
Let's
a
go.
video. Now, look in the top right corner. There's like a doorway there. And once I play this, you'll see something walk down the hallway and kind of turn back and forth. But here you go. Top right corner.
Were you with the infantry? Artillery?
It's like it comes out,
Can you show
realizes
me
you're
where
there,
any
tries
one
to
of
dip
my
back out,
wands?
gets curious, comes back out one more time, and then dips away.
Yeah, it's like it walks in. Yeah, it does. Walks in, sees us, and
Like,
like
holy shit.
turns, and then it even turns back for a second.
Yeah.
Like maybe I can go. Nah.
Or it's like, who the fuck is that? Like, and then it like goes.
Now I didn't
yeah,
see
that's
that in
awesome.
person. I did not see that in person when it was filmed. I caught this after reviewing it. Now most of the people I was with were like the session. They decided to walk away. So I went through all of my footage and found footage of what somebody walking down the hallway actually looks like. It doesn't look like this fuzzy black shadowy figure. Here's two people walking down the hallway. Here's shadow figure walking. People walking it. So, one sec. We'll play this one more time.
Were you with the infantry? Artillery? Can you show me by use of any one of my wands where you're
This is what it looks like when a normal person walks down the hallway.
It's okay to do that? If I call you Sergeant Jones, would that be alright? Alright, Sergeant Jones. You see anybody else inside here with us now, besides yourself?
This is where you and Mark have the meeting.
Still,
Like you can see them instantly as soon as they appear. Like
Like-
there's no light in that hallway. You can see their flashlight leading up to them appearing. And now this is it side by side.
Was it a shadow?
doesn't look like it.
No, you can see the difference. Like this is them walking in, and this is the shadow figure. Look
Okay.
how completely different that
And the
looks.
speed too.
Yeah, it comes out and then like dips and like no.
Yeah, it like dips and
Yeah.
dips back out. We'll play the
That's very
actual
cool.
shadow figure video one more time, but you can see the comparison. Like a real person walking down that hallway looks completely different than this figure we caught. So, is it gonna play? 1 second.
Were you an officer? Were you with the infantry? Artillery? Can you show me by use of
Black.
any one of my wands where you're
That is one of the first ever good pieces of evidence I ever caught on video. In fact, I think it's the best thing I've ever caught on video, and did not see it in person. So it was under heavy debate after I caught it. We reviewed it so many times, and it eventually was like, we can't explain it. It definitely looks more
Oh yeah.
like a shadow figure. Now, if you go to Fort Mifflin's website, you can see on there they have a picture of a shadow figure standing in the exact same spot that I caught that video.
I'll check that out.
So I didn't know that until we were setting this up, and I was trying to contact them to make sure everything was good to go. I went to their website, and then I seen that picture. I'm like, holy crap, that's the same spot I videotaped a shadow figure. And they have a shadow figure standing in the same doorway.
Guess
So
we know where we're gonna put some cameras.
that
Oh, yeah.
validated
Right.
it for me.
We're probably putting one on that bench
Yep.
facing right at that.
And again,
spot.
as you can see, like we're underground, but there's like a few small windows in there. It was
Yeah.
daytime, so we
Oh,
caught it
okay.
during the day.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I can't wait.
Everything's
I'm so
100% in the daytime over there for some reason.
So excited. Hope I don't die.
I can understand that with the residual stuff because most of the activity would happen during the day because most of the
Right.
soldiers would be sleeping at night.
Correct. You'd have very few standing up on the walls, like
So-
watching at night.
What I do want to do is I want to do like an isolation session with just me and Aaron, like in a spot where there's like heavy soldier activity. Like I think that would benefit. Like if it's just two women, like
You might
a
actually do
spot?
well in the quarters where Elizabeth and her daughter live, since they were used to women being in that spot.
but I don't want a spot where they're used to women being there. I want them to
Beat your ass.
no,
She wants
No.
She wants it rough.
no, that's not what I want.
I want George Washington's wooden teeth all over me.
I mean, I do. I want that wooden chomp chomp. You know what I'm talking about. No, but I think it would be beneficial. Like you think the soldiers saw women like very often?
Probably not.
Okay,
I mean-
so what if women came into there? They'd either be really fucking pissed and screaming at us,
like, damn, baby.
or they'd be like, "Damn, girl, I didn't know girls were built with that."
All of a sudden, me and Sam are just in a bunker in our like 90s, and we're like, hi. Good night.
Me and
How's it
Jeff just
going?
walk out like, what the hell's going on?
Gary and I walk in and just turn around and walk back out. Like, I don't know what's going on in there, but I'm not getting
Like
involved.
rolling around in
You gotta
Elizabeth
catch
Pratt's
'em all.
bed.
And I just walkie-talkie like, "Hey Jeff, can you bring that like black bag that I brought that I wouldn't let you open? Can you just bring that in with us? It's
That's
just
that
fucking,
black gym bag.
It's just dildos and fucking like bubbles. It's just like crazy
I mean-
shit, and we just
That's
lay it
the
out
other
like
side of our
yeah.
Yeah.
You're division 3 a.m. We're divided 3 a.m.
we don't
We're
Dividing
divided
them
90 degrees.
we haven't disclosed this yet.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I mean, the bed her daughter died in is still there, so you could just roll around in that a
I
little
mean,
bit.
a few sessions like in different places. That'd be cool. I definitely want to check that spot out. I want to get her attention
Mhm.
for sure.
Just pretend to be.
If I gotta whip a titty out,
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good way to provoke, like, or entice Elizabeth to scream.
Like, hello.
You could pretend to be her daughter and be all like, "I'm in love with a soldier," and be like, "I'm dying of dysentery,"
You know, this dysentery really sucks.
and be like, "I'm dead, mom."
I won't do it like that, but I can see where you're going. Like,
Yeah.
and all joking aside, like that would probably be a good idea. Like, what color was her daughter's hair? Like, what would be more
I don't
near
know.
Aaron? We have to look into that.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Because if it's a dark hair, it's gonna be me.
We'll have
but
to
if
ask
it's
him if we
not-
can rent some period clothing. That doesn't sound
If
very.
you wait a little bit, I can probably make some.
Wait a little bit. We're leaving in like 2 weeks.
I'll start in about a couple days here. But
Aaron's
just
like,
kidding. That's
"You
gross.
make it, I'll chop it." And then you just show up looking all
Yeah.
rocked out and colonial.
And there's her plug for Chop
yeah,
Shop.
and there's your
right
plug,
there.
Aaron.
Chop shop. Chop shop on Instagram. Go check it out.
Aaron, we have over 2,000 followers. You should plug.
Hey,
You
totally
should.
should. She chops clothes and makes
Yes,
them
I do.
sexy.
Fucking awesome.
Like stuff like this.
Yeah,
You
stuff
don't want
like
like
that.
a t-shirt? Get yourself one of these bad boys. Dress, tank top.
It
Make
makes
this
them
look
pop.
all good.
It makes them pop.
But really, it's like her shop is called Chop Shop. She takes all sorts of shirts and she turns them into amazing things. Like she's made me 2 in the whole time I've known her.
She barely
But that-
sews for her husband, so go on.
But that's because she has so many orders. She ships all over the place. Yeah, just go to Facebook and Chop Shop and look her up and
Facebook or Instagram.
support that. Etsy accounts, she's got it all. She's been doing this for years. Her stuff's pretty
Mhm.
awesome.
Thanks, guys.
It's pretty awesome.
So our last thing of the day, our last thing of the show, is we're going to talk about some of our favorite haunted locations personally, places we've been. So I think we'll start with Aaron.
Okay.
What is your favorite haunted location that you've been? Tell the class.
I really liked Waverly, because even though I went there as a skeptic, definitely saw something. I definitely felt something. The history was amazing. Really loved that. Collingwood still scares me, even though we haven't done like a full investigation there.
We have to, and that's coming from me. And as much as I hate it,
Yeah.
we have to do it.
Salem. I've been to Salem several times.
Mm-hmm.
Never investigated there, but obviously I know there's probably some hauntings going there. But I just love the East Coast. Lizzie Borden house was amazing. I wish I could have stayed the night, but yeah, I think those are my top few. Gettysburg, I went there once and saw something, and I hope you guys have the same experience. So that wasn't my favorite, but that was one of my definite, like, I saw something I can't explain. So those are definitely my top.
Those are some good tops. I mean, we all well, besides Jeff, we all pretty much had that experience at Waverly that we'll never forget.
Oh,
Party foul! We got a party foul here
I didn't do
live
it.
on the Aftermath
I
podcast.
didn't do it.
It's alright, it's funny because I spilled something in that exact same spot while I was running test earlier.
Well,
Can't take
Is that
them
why this
anywhere.
towel's
That's why that towel's there.
Yeah,
Hell yeah!
party foul, party
Dream
foul.
premonitions and party foul premonitions.
I didn't really think about what my. Oh, I smell it.
Wait, she got bubble butt?
Butt sweat. I don't really know what mine is.
Alright, so what's your favorite, Sam?
I don't really know. I'm unprepared.
She's so unprepared. She wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Okay. Well, it's not really known as to be haunted, but like me and Aaron and Gary, we've all been there at night. Like we've all gone in. Woodlawn Cemetery, we've caught some good things there.
That's known to be haunted. It's considered one of the most haunted in Toledo.
See, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Okay, well, then I guess it's gotta be that. Like, the whole animal thing with me, like, I honestly wholeheartedly believe it. But people probably think I'm stupid, but whenever we're in a haunted location and something happens, an animal finds me. I don't care what it is. It's usually a cat. But me and Aaron have gone there. We've been followed around by animals. We've been followed around by animals, deers, foxes. I remember it's been probably when I was like 22. Me and Aaron went to Woodlawn and we were just being stupid, being young, being in our 20s, taking pictures, drinking, whatever, just doing whatever. And she takes a picture of me in this tombstone, and we're gonna have to try to find it, and I will try to find it for
I've
you guys.
heard of this picture forever, and
Yeah.
I've still never seen it.
Because this is the thing that sticks out the most in my head, and it's straight a man standing behind us, peeking out from behind a tree. He kind of fades out at the bottom, but the rest of it is just completely visual, and he's just looking at us. And we've even went back, tried to recreate it. We've never been able to. I'll try my hardest to find it. It's on my Facebook somewhere, or my MySpace. MySpace. That just goes to show you how old it is. I don't even know how to get into my MySpace anymore. But for you guys,
I miss
I will
Tom.
try. What?
I miss Tom.
Tom was his best friend back
Tom
then.
from MySpace.
I was gonna say what?
Not that Tom.
No, not that Tom. Tom is the name of the cashier that passed.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
I was like, what? I do too. You do too. I do too.
I think he actually checked me out one of the times I was there.
But yeah, so that's one of the places that sticks out the most to me. Like Aaron said, Collingwood is scary as hell. I personally hate nuns, terrified of them, and I don't like going there. But we need to do a full-on investigation. Waverly was cool. Me and Jeff have been to a couple places. Bobby Mackey's was pretty scary. Even walking into the basement, like flashlights, lights on. It's pretty terrifying. But yeah, above all, Woodlawn Cemetery would have to be my number one favorite. We've even caught EVPs.
We got lots of EVPs. We got what you know about late night butt talk.
What you know about butt talk? Go.
We got some butt talk.
Why?
We're never gonna
Why?
play it on the show.
Why?
But there was some weird butt talk.
That's always the case when this group is together.
It's transported. All you gotta do is touch.
Just touch someone and you transfer it. Jeff, what's yours?
Um,
I'm legit arguing about a shower curtain.
I'm torn. Because Bobby Mackey's is the first place that I ever had any experience, but it was only 45 minutes. It's the only place I've ever had anything actually affect me. And it was mild, it was a headache, and I just had to get out of the basement, and once I was out of the basement, I was fine. But Mansfield was awesome. It was public. We were there for a concert, so there was a lot of music outside, but we still had a lot of experiences in Mansfield.
Yeah.
Just walking the prison ward period was awesome.
The glittering lights in that chair room.
And
That was
yeah,
pretty sweet.
the chair room was cool. Lock cell, we got a lot of great EVPs there. Just the fact that all three of you had the same experience separately, walking into solitary, and I don't know, we just got some cool stuff from Mansfield and some really cool photos, even non-paranormal photos, like the spiral staircase, the metal spiral staircase in the one section. Like I got a great shot of that. And I don't know where that picture's at now. I have to find it where we can get it uploaded. But it's just it's a really cool experience.
Yeah. I mean, even with all my experiences, all the places I've visited, I'm still skeptical about a lot of things, you know? So, all these places we go, definitely interested to see what we find.
I'll always be a skeptic first, myself.
Some of the stuff I just cannot explain,
I've
though,
become
you know?
that over time.
Like, what the fuck?
I'm quick to try to debunk what I find, and then if I can't debunk it, I'll still try.
Erin's the same way. Whether she thinks she's a skeptic or not, she really
I think it's
is.
like, you know, it's just the stages of emotion. Denial is your first thing. You're like,
Right.
all right, let's try to prove this wrong.
Right.
You know, and you don't want to sound stupid in front of people, so you want to try to debunk it yourself before somebody else tries to.
Like, oh, this happened.
Argue.
Well, I did this and this and this to try to disprove it, and I just couldn't disprove it. I
Yeah.
don't know what else to do.
So, my favorite place is not a public place, and I've talked about it amongst these guys several times, but it is a local place, a private place. This is a home here in Toledo that I investigated for a good year. Every other month, I was there and stayed the night. And I caught more evidence in the time that I spent there than I have caught anywhere. In my first two visits, it was probably, to me, the most haunted place I've ever been. And to this day, it is the most haunted place I've ever been. I can't give much detail out about it because it was a private residence, but it is on the east side of Toledo. It was an old Victorian home and has a lot of Toledo history. The father who built it, he was one of the first 5 male carriers here in Toledo. And his daughter married one of the first families that were policemen in Toledo. There were only 4 to 7 policemen at the time. I think by the time she got married, there were 7 that walked that area. Like the precincts were completely separate. So like the east side had their own police force. So it was very limited in numbers. They were connected to the guy who made and started the first grocery store chain in Toledo. And I think that's how they were able to afford their big mansion-like house. There's so much history there. I mean, one of the daughters became a mother superior at a church in Detroit. The other daughter lived there until the 80s. She was the last surviving family member. And there's speculation that her dad killed her husband for abusing her. It's also weird that her husband's name, his name was Roger. Every male in his family's name was Roger. They all had the same name. So they were like Junior, 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 Junior. There were so many Rogers. But I do have one EVP I'm going to play from there. It is my most favorite EVP of all time. And a little backstory to it is,
Hold on. Josh said that he remembers that place. I just want to point that out. That
yeah,
said that
Josh
he
Josh Cowell, he was there. He was there. So Josh Cowell was there actually at the time that this EVP was caught, because I called every one of my investigators the night after I heard this EVP, and I thought somebody was playing a prank on me, only to find out that every recorder in the house on every floor of this huge mansion caught the same EVP at the exact same time at the same volume, which is freaking impossible. Backstory: there is a little girl spirit in this house who would talk on the phone to me when I would call this family to see how they were doing. She knew me by name, and we've got many EVPs of her, but she is the only spirit in that house. We could not track down where she came from because she was not related to the family who built the house and lived there, but yet they still could see her and knew she was there. And we have EVPs of them telling us to help her cross over. And I never got a chance to do that. I hope one day I do get to go back. But this EVP, I promised to bring her a baby doll. And then I didn't come back to the house for a year. We took a big break. This is our first time back. And within just 2 to 3 minutes of our recorders being on, we captured this. Yeah, it wasn't creepy or anything. This is my favorite EVP of all time. So we turn on the recorders, and you can hear my sister kind of laughing in the background. She was on our team at the time. And you hear this little girl's voice say, "Hate, I hate you. I hate you, Gary." She was really upset I did not bring her the baby doll I promised her a year before. I found out her name was Karen. Ironically, that's funny now. It wasn't funny back then.
She's such a Karen.
She is
Such a Karen.
6 years old.
Skelly Karen.
She loves Easter. She loves Easter candy. These are all things we captured from EVPs. But something bad happened to her, and I don't know what it was. I do have EVPs of her screaming, "Owie, owie, owie," and crying. And I have EVPs of her asking, "Will somebody please play with me?" And then the spirits of the rest of the family chime in and like, "Be quiet, Karen, they're working." Like, they were respectful of us being there, and she was always following us around. And she ended up knowing me by name because I was the only one on the team at the time who had kids. So I would constantly say, "I'm a dad, I have a daughter." So she got kind of close to me, and she would only talk to me by name. So she was really upset when I didn't come back with that baby doll. Eventually, right after I heard that EVP, I went and bought a baby doll. A little pacifier. I gave it to the family. And they would call me all the time and say, she moves it everywhere. It's never in the same spot twice. The pacifier's never in the same spot twice. It's either in its mouth, out of its mouth. We keep notes on where it's at. It would even end up in a locked antique glass display case that nobody had opened. It was locked, and she would somehow put it inside the case.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that is my favorite location. It was a private location here in Toledo. A little girl contacted me often, and just before we head out, I will play that one more time for you because I love it so much.
After that, it just reminds me of an EVP, and I'll have to try to find it, of one that I got of Gary. That just reminded me. I'll talk about that briefly. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll play it one more time.
Here, does that sound like Cartman from South Park?
I hate you.
Yes.
Damn it, cheesy boots, Gary. Damn it, cheesy boots, God, Gary.
Cheesy boots.
Yeah,
I hate you.
Gary.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Little
You
bit.
guys
But just
bet
keep in
you.
mind, this is a 4-story home.
Mhm.
And we had a recorder on every floor that caught that at the exact same time, same volume.
Huh.
Impossible.
Yeah, it's pretty impossible.
So I thought I was getting pranked. I wasn't getting pranked because I called the house shortly after that, and the little girl said my name over the phone questionably. All I heard was Gary. Then you heard about, well, if you ever watched episode 2, you heard about that.
Yeah,
But
right.
episode 2 is lost to time because it sucked so bad.
You didn't catch it
I was
live. You
not
will
part of
never
that. You
Didn't
catch it again.
live. You have to go watch
I
the live
wasn't there
version.
yet.
There is no edited version. And I'm glad Sam showed up because I thought this was going to be a cursed show where every time we do Before the Aftermath, there's one of us missing.
Nope.
So Sam shows up and I'm like, oh, the whole team's here for
Boom,
Before the Aftermath.
bitches.
Boom.
Gotta have work at 8 o'clock. Had to skip my lunch, had to forfeit my food, but I'll do anything for you guys.
I'm
what's
really
that,
glad I pushed it
what's
back
that
to
EVP
9.
you were talking about?
Yeah, so why is it so like there's the top of my head. Did you know that I had a top of my head? It's right here. Yeah, so it was way back. God, how many years was that? Way before. I don't want to talk into the microphone.
Well, you got to.
I don't want to.
Nobody can hear you if you don't.
It goes twang, twang, twang.
It goes on.
Okay, so it was way before Toxic A. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And we were doing a home investigation. Gary and his brother.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, they were doing a home investigation.
Damn it.
Erin was supposed to come, but she had to work or something like that. I think she had to work.
No, she fell asleep.
No,
I'll never forget.
She fell asleep.
Listen.
It may have been.
all I do is work and sleep. So you
Yeah.
know what?
I get it. But it was
Sounds like my
it was
life
probably
on
like
overnights.
it was probably like what 10 years ago, Gary?
That sounds like my life on overnights.
It's about no.
It's hard being an adult.
It was about 4 to 5 years ago
4
because
or
that's
5 years ago.
that's when I started dating Allie.
Okay, so we don't use the whole name.
Well, I still
that wasn't a whole name. That was
I
her
still
first name.
sleep sometimes, guys.
Toxic Allie.
Sometimes.
Hope she never watches this.
It's okay.
She's going to at some point.
So they were contacted by this family. There was a bunch of stuff happening in their house, so Chris and Gary decided they wanted to do a little investigation. I forget who else was there. It was me and Chris and you and A and who else? Because there was 2 other people.
I don't remember.
I don't know if it was Josh. Maybe it was Josh and somebody else. Anyways, well, Gary was upstairs with A, and he was just fucking around, just being stupid, and they were just like, just talking to each other or whatever. And he wasn't really taking it seriously, because the jokes he was making, he was just trying to, just be funny.
I know what you're referring to
Funny
now.
Gary.
I was picking up a girl.
Yeah, so whatever was there at that house, which we never actually went back and did that. That was a long time ago. But there was an EVP that I caught on a recorder I had left in the room, and I was reviewing it, and it just reminded me because the EVP that says, "I hate you, Gary," from my view, maybe it's all residentials where all the spirits don't like you. Because this one did not like him. Like, all I heard was, "Fuck you, Gary. Fuck you." Clear as hell. His
alright.
name. The cuss words were so clear. And I was just like, oh, Jesus, well, okay. And I showed it to him. And he confirmed that's it. I didn't even tell him what it said at first when he listened to it. And he's like, is that ghost telling me to fuck off? I'm like, pretty much. Like, I don't know what you did to piss it off, but you did something to piss it off because it did not like you.
I have that effect on ghosts.
Yeah, I'll have to find that for you guys, and I'll put it up. I'll have Gary
So
put it
does
on
Aaron.
the
Actually ever heard
website.
it.
I said so does Aaron.
Yeah.
What?
Once upon a time.
That's
not
what happened to
long
her
ago,
in
I took a
Loxell.
nap.
Oh yeah.
It was
So-
a very good nap.
All right, guys, that is the show for tonight. We talked about Mifflin. We talked about our favorite haunted places. We played you some cool stuff. And tonight we drank Creep Show. Thanks to Aaron for bringing that.
don't know. I don't know.
It's right here, guys.
It's right here.
Well, Sam didn't drink it, but you've
Yeah.
had it before. What did you guys think of the creep show?
I drink that.
Oh, she drank that. We're gonna put
I
that
think-
with
I
that. She
think
drank that.
I didn't think it quite tasted like hot dog water, but
On
Yeah.
second drink, it
I-
wasn't as bad.
I didn't think hot dog
But it-
water.
I don't know. I guess I was just expecting more.
It has a very different taste. I will say that, but I won't say it's horrible. I've had worse.
Sorry,
it
Work
was
Wing.
it was fairly smooth.
It was pretty smooth.
I only bought it for the art. You guys win an A on the art.
Just got it for the art.
The drinkage.
Our next
Your
show.
mic isn't even
It's
near you.
gone.
It's gone.
It's,
It's done.
It's okay.
Oh.
It's okay.
Oh.
And
no,
Sam's
no.
breaking.
Things
it.
are happening. Well, it's a good thing it's the end of the show because Sam's breaking down
I'm not
everything
breaking
right now.
anything. No.
Look,
no,
she's
no.
just holding it.
Whoa!
Just hold it.
Wait, how do I get out of the contraption?
How do you get out of the contraption? You just totally ripped it out of the
Living on
desk.
She's also
prayer.
spilled her beer.
Just spilled
I
your
spilled
beer.
my-
She broke the
I
mic.
haven't eaten. Did I tell you I skipped fucking lunch to be here?
You skipped
You haven't
lunch
eaten
to
yet?
be here?
Yeah, I did.
this
I didn't take
shit.
a lunch and I left at 8 instead of
Did
9.
I tell you I'm on a diet and all I had was a salad today?
And I'm. At least you had something.
That is nothing
All
for
right,
a
so-
man my size.
You
We
did
need to
too
feed
this
Sam.
morning.
Jeff, you
Oh
shut the fuck.
shit! You had hot dog water.
His mom is
Anyway.
watching.
Well, I mean, he started it, so he knows.
I don't know
Anyway,
how to hold this thing when it's attached to the contraption.
just hold it. Just hold
This
it.
is-
Almost done.
This has been a chaotic before the aftermath.
Can we do like a D3 AM karaoke day, like where we're just like fucking singing?
We could put that on our YouTube
I
channel.
can
We can let
just just hand me my guitar.
It's true. We did actually karaoke sing.
people
Happy
can
birthday.
give us like
Work for hire.
requests on, and we can sing it on YouTube. Like, Aaron, please sing this song, or yeah, do it,
It's quite a possibility.
do it.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone, guys. We're gonna end it here. So, you know the places you can find us. You can find us at our website, division3am.com. You can also check us out on YouTube. Yeah, we actually have a show on YouTube now. The first episode's not that great because we fucked up the audio a bit.
And our green screen
And
is
our-
awful.
And our green
We're working
screen
it out, guys.
is awful.
We're
We're
working
working it out. You
It's
guys
still
know
fine. It's still a good time.
we started off with some really crappy times here on the podcast, and we're just getting better as time goes on. I'm sure it's lagging like a sumbitch right now. But you can find us there, youtube.com. Check
Actually,
us out.
I've been
there.
watching. It hasn't really lagged much.
Yeah, I've noticed too. We're doing all right tonight. I think we're doing all right. And you can find us at Instagram, also at division3am.com. Yeah, you got Erin over here running that constantly. She's keeping you guys up over there. And then you can go check us out. And this is just blocking me from everything. You can also check us out where you already are if you're watching. We're at facebook.com/division3am. You can check us out there as well. That's where most of our stuff goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope everybody enjoyed hearing our little plans for Mifflin and all the crazy crap we found. Sam destroying the equipment that
Sam's
took
sitting
me
here holding
5
this.
seconds to install.
But I'm literally holding it, so like it's okay.
So raise your bills with us tonight, guys, because
It's 3 a.m.
It's
somewhere.
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
somewhere.
See y'all in Philly.
See you there.
So